Alright, in today's video I'm going to talk about how our last webinar went. So yeah, let's get into it. I've kind of hidden away everything so you don't read ahead and get confused and don't listen to what I say. But yeah, I'll drag it down as we move along, and then I'll expose everything. I'll be talking about the funnel, the numbers, what went wrong, what went well, and what we're going to do different next time. So yeah, going to be as transparent as I possibly can without exposing any sensitive information, but we'll get into it and see how it goes. All right, so first off, we're going to talk about the funnel. The funnel was actually, I've kind of simplified it now, to be honest, but it is rather simple. You can always kind of make it more complicated and go more in depth, but this is like a high level overview of how the funnel went. So basically, we ran meta ads for 10 days, which was where the majority of the traffic came from, and we let that into an opt-in page with a sign up form, and then they signed up, and then they got redirected to a thank you page where there were 3 steps. The 3 steps were check your email, that you've got the invitation. The second step was join our free school group, and the final step was add event to your calendar. Because we didn't, I don't actually know why we didn't do that automatically. We just thought like, okay, you should do it yourself to kind of reinforce it, so you know that you've done it yourself rather than it just being automatically added. But next time we're going to do another webinar here in next month, and here we're actually doing it where it's getting automatically invited. So we'll see if that makes any difference. But after the thank you page, then there was basically some waiting time until we were like 5 days out from the webinar, and then we started sending out emails and SMS reminders. Obviously, the email automation, they got the confirmation email as soon as they signed up, right? So, but that was the only email we sent them until we were 5 days out. Then after that, all of the emails and the SMS reminders basically led people in to join the school group, because this is where we're going to post the StreamYard link. This is also where we're going to do more engagement posts and also assign people with tasks when they attended the webinar. The point of this was also to get them used to using the school platform, because for a lot of the people, it was brand new. And this is where we're going to post the link. Obviously, we would also send the link out through SMS and email right before we went live, but we really wanted people to get onto the platform, because this is also where we can nurture them a lot better later down the line. So long term, this was the goal, to get as many. And I'll show you guys how many we got into the group later on. But other than that, we did a few organic posts, nothing really too I would say nothing, not a lot. I think that's what I'm getting at here. Not a lot, just a few posts, and the email list was also 3 to 4 emails when we started the ads as well, and kind of let that in. But we got the majority of it from cold traffic. But this is basically the funnel, super simple. I don't know. I think we're going to do the same funnel next time. We're just gonna up the emails a lot more, the reminders, and then do something different for SMS, because this ended up costing a lot actually. It was quite expensive because we sent so many. And we also had some other issues with the SMS, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, this is basically the funnel. I'm just now thinking if there's anything else I need to say or add. I'm not really sure. I don't think so. Yeah, we'll just move on. Okay, so let's scroll down further. Now we're going to the numbers. So I've kind of broken down. I've broken down every single number I think was relevant, and then I've added like 3 talking points to each. But yeah, let's just jump into it. So first off, ad spend. We did $8,327 in ad spend, and this was our full cold traffic spend. And we did use retargeting the last 5 days, I think, or something like that. But we didn't allocate a lot of spend to it. But it did pull through with some, but the majority actually came through the cold. So it was top of funnel stuff mostly. Ads, we had 5 different creatives. There we go. We have 5 different creatives. We tested up a lot of different angles over these 5 different creative. The funny thing is the most simple ad one. So that was the one with no editing, where it was just a raw breakdown of the client sitting in the car actually. And that was the one that ended up pulling the most. And the most edited and scripted one that we liked the most, that was like, oh, this is really good. that one had the poorest performance. So people see straight through that stuff. They don't want anything that's super edited or anything like that. They just want something that's simple and raw and feels authentic. So yeah, again, lesson learned. We did use that going forward for some of the other webinars we hosted, and then we basically just went full on into the raw type, and that crushed. All of them really crushed. So yeah, good learning point. Just double down on what works, I'd say. So moving on, in terms of signups, we got 2,775 signups in total who signed up for the event, which was a steady flow throughout all 10 days. There wasn't like any peaks. Sometimes kind of maybe on Saturdays and Sundays actually there came in a little more. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Holy shit. I'm gonna cut that out. We did a simple landing page with some simple copy that showed like what are you going to get out of these 2 nights, and what are you going to learn, and who is the speaker, what is going to happen, stuff like that. Very simple, nothing too fancy. We kind of went hard in on like the design to make it look really clean and nice, and with colors and backgrounds so it looked professional, but we didn't do any like super over the top design stuff. It was just making it look nice and clean, basically. Yeah. So, as I said, we wanted people to join the school group, and we ended up getting 54% of the signups to join the group. I think a lot of people joined the group, but then never logged back in because it was a new platform. People didn't save it, whatever it might be. But we did welcome everyone with an automated DM to make sure they're like fit and they understand the platform. There was also like an onboarding video for them. But again, this was an unusual platform for this type of audience. It was 40 plus, so people have never heard of Skool, and that was kind of a setback, I think, or not a setback maybe, but like a challenge to get them to use the platform. We got so many people asking like, where can I find the link, even when the link wasn't ready yet for the event, and like what is this platform, stuff like that. So I think you should always go for the platform that people are most comfortable with, or who your target audience is most comfortable with. So going back, I would probably do Facebook if I could change it, but yeah, we're not going to use Facebook going forward because now the school group is so packed with people. So this is like our biggest gathering of leads. So we might as well just keep using it, and people will still learn it. Just take some time. So this was like the biggest sucker punch. The next one, this is the attendees. So we got 375 attendees when it peaked. I think it kind of stayed out or leaned out in the 350s, which meant to be a 13.5 attendance rate. We heard that the industry standard for attendance rate is like 45% of all signups. So not the biggest turnaround or turn up. I would say it kind of sucked. But yeah, people stuck all the way through. So we kind of peaked at 375, then it went back down to 350, and then it stayed at 350. And I think we went on for like almost 2.5 hours. So there was like an hour of kind of learning the UGC space, and then there was like a half an hour or almost an hour of Q&A where people just stuck around, simply stay to learn more and to hear about what it was. So that was pretty cool, actually. In terms of revenue, we did 41,910, and I think if we wanted to get more, we needed more payment plans. A lot of people asked for payment plans like Klarna and Afterpay, and we didn't have that fully set up at that time. But we did offer like 2 splits and 3 splits, but that was not enough for people. So we needed to have Klarna up back then. We have now. But yeah, also a remarkable amount of the sales came in after the webinar, where we ran this pre-play offer. So it was on a Wednesday and a Thursday the event took place, and then throughout the remaining days of the week, then we offered that people could watch the replay, and then they could still purchase the offer if they watched the replay. And then it ended like Sunday night at midnight, which also meant there was a few more payments that came through that way. So that's definitely a good way of utilizing, I would say. In terms of profit, we came out on top with $27,450, and that was just after paying the tech stack, after paying ad spend, and also we had a few guest speakers on who always also needed to be paid. But other than that, it was a pretty a say it was a decent return. ROAS was a 5, and it was this gave us a clear signal, right? So it was a webinar funnel that was worth scaling. I don't think we're gonna do a evergreen webinar funnel yet because we haven't fully dialed it down. It's not like completely dialed in. It's still missing a few things, and we still want to really nail the presentation and the pitch and so on. But once that is like completely dialed in, then we'll definitely do an evergreen webinar funnel. That's for sure. The cost per lead was like $3, and that meant that like the creators were performing well. All of them were performing well. It was just a matter of like which one was performing the best. We didn't offer any lead magnets or anything. It was just like a direct sign up, and it wasn't a direct sign up with the Facebook lead form. It was just 2 landing page, read about everything, then sign up, basically. Yeah, so cost per acquisition turned out to be $278. The offer of the price of the offer was $13.97. So yeah, it was a nice enough metric, I would say. Yeah, and conversion rate turned out to be 11%. So even though we had like 300, we only had like so little people to sign up, the fact that we got to convert 11% was pretty wild, I would say. So we did something right. that's the main thing. Yeah, so unforeseen problems. Moving on. This is the last thing. So first one is US phone number for SMS marketing. This took so long to get up and running. First of all, you need to get a toll-free number, which you can do through like Go High Level or whatever, Twilio or whatever you want. But you need to get the like A2P verified, and that took so long. Normally we were like told it only took like 2 to 3 days, but it actually ended up taking 3 weeks. So it was just like a good thing that we did it in. So we did it 3 weeks prior, so it was ready for usage the days before the event. But what we didn't know was that we had to ramp up the number inside of Go High Level. So at the first day you could only send 100 messages, then the next day you can send 300 messages, and then the next day you can send 500 messages. So it just ended up butchering like the SMS reminders we could do because we could only send so little, and we were still like the max cap is like 3K, and then you need to call in Go High Level support and actually get them to up the limit to whatever you need, and we weren't ready for that. So that kind of butchered the entire SMS reminders, which I think did a lot in terms of the attendance rate. But yeah, lesson learned. Yeah, more payment plans. That's also what I kind of also said. Not everyone shows up live, so yeah, we need a stronger reminder and engagement pre-event. I don't know if this had something to do with school, that it was like an unknown platform for people, or we just didn't send enough reminders. That can also be the case, but I'm also curious to know if anyone out there is like have done this before and knows anything about how you can get people to show up more. We also did a few other initiatives for our latest webinar, which helped a lot in terms of this, but I'm still curious to know. What you guys are doing. Yeah, and what to improve on next. So for that part, you're gonna have to watch part 2 of this video. I'm gonna make the next video, which is gonna be about how we do webinars now. This is like 6 months ago, and I'm gonna do another video that is more like, okay, how are we doing it now, and what are we doing differently, and how have we learned, how have we improved, because we've improved a lot. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.